The very moment you stop waiting for him, something shifts. And that shift is not what most women expect. Do you know why? Because stopping doesn't make him disappear. Rather, it reveals who he really was all along. In the last video, we talked about something that is very uncomfortable for most people. That is that some men aren't confused, as some people say it. Rather, they are deciding without you in that relationship. So today, we need to talk about the next question every woman asks. And that question is, what happens if I stop waiting for him? Not hypothetically, but in real life, what really happens if I stop waiting for him? The reason for this question is because part of women's worries are, if I stop being available for this man, I might lose him. If I pull back a little bit emotionally, he will forget about me. If I don't stay patient for him, I am going to ruin everything. And believe me, that fear is exactly why this works the way it does. Now let's get something straight here. Stopping the wait is not a tactic. It's not manipulation. It is not silence meant to provoke, as some people may say it. It is the act of removing access without resentment. And men feel that immediately. So as a woman, when you stop waiting, three things happens internally for him. The first thing is certainty disappears. He was very certain that you are going to be there for him despite all his delays, despite all his unseriousness. He was certain that you will still be there listening to him, still available for him, and still patient. But when that certainty vanishes from the space, do you know what happens? His attention sharpens immediately. That is what happens. So you need to understand that men don't panic when they lose interest. They panic when they lose control over access. And that's the difference most women miss in today's relationships. Secondly, he starts reassessing value. He's not doing this because you changed who you are. No, you didn't change who you are. He's doing it because effort now has a cost. And in the history of humans, in the history of mankind, they value what costs them something, even emotionally. And this is why he suddenly starts texting you differently. He starts asking more questions that needs more clarity. He starts checking in on you more often than before. He's not doing it because you played hard to get, but because the dynamic has now changed. Third, and this one is very, very crucial and you need to pay attention. He has to decide what role you actually play in his life. What am I trying to say in effect? When you are always available for him, he doesn't need to decide. He behaves however he wants because he knows that you are there for him. To him, he feels like, I am this girl's inheritance and she has nowhere to go. But when you are not always available, the rhythm changes immediately and decisions becomes unavoidable. That is the focus. And here is where outcomes do split in most cases. There are only two reactions, and in both reactions you give clarity. Now let's talk about them one after another. The number one outcome is this. He steps forward. I mean, not with unnecessary talks or with excuses, but with real movement. You start seeing more consistency, more presence, and more clarity. This is the man who felt the shift and decided to choose you as his woman. Not because you waited longer, not because you explained yourself better, but because he felt you slipping out of his reach. He saw how valuable you are for him. The second outcome is he fades. He starts getting distance from the relationship. He stops initiating and he starts acting busy. And believe me, this one hurts so badly But listen carefully. This is not failure as some people may see it. But this is information, and whatever you decide to do with such an information determines your emotional condition in the future. A man who disappeared when assets changes was never planning to choose you in the first place, my sister. He was planning to keep you. And if this stings, it is because you invested too much emotionally in that relationship. I'm sorry to say that. That doesn't make you a weak person. No. Rather, it makes you an honest person. But as you all know, in the game of relationship, honesty without boundaries becomes a self-abandonment. Now, this only works if you avoid one mistake. Do not announce what you are doing. No speeches, no explanations, no emotional monologues. Do you know why? Because energy explains itself. You don't have to explain everything you are doing. Stop the wait. Stopping the wait looks like not rearranging your life for uncertainty, not being endlessly available, or not chasing clarity from someone avoiding it. It is quiet, it is calm, and it is powerful. And here's the part women don't expect. Your anxiety starts to fade. Why? Because you are no longer stuck in limbo. You are now standing on your own ground again. But clarity brings another question. How do you know when patience becomes self-betrayal? Because staying too long does a lot of damage most women doesn't notice till much later. And that is what the next video is going to explain. If this video felt personal for you, subscribe to this channel because the next one might change a decision you've been avoiding to make. My name is Andy, and I'm going to see you in the next video.